On July 12, 2021, we started our very first edition of VRChat Live. Albeit it was a tutorial, it was our first experience with VRChat, and in particular VR in general. Now, we get into the real meat and potatoes of this series. This is RetroYuuki VRChat Adventures Explained, and today we are explaining the very first open lobbies. And it gets started right here. So when was the first official open lobby for us? Today we talk about July 13th, 2021. A year ago, we started this for real. Now, the character aside, with this does not count, we do have one character that does matter. I would like to introduce you to JayDPGaming. JayDPGaming, also known as Votes the Hedgehog today, was our first look into VRChat as a whole. Why am I pointing him out? It's because today he is named Votes the Hedgehog on VRChat. But name aside, you're gonna see that we're starting our very first edition of a live VRChat open lobby with everybody. Now, keep in mind that when we started, there is very few people, and that's understandable because it's our first one. It's our very first look at how a VRChat open lobby operates. Everybody gets to come on in, have some fun, and enjoy the content, or I should say, come on in, have some fun. You know, it will be a ton. That's today's model, but back then, it was just get in here and have fun. Now we actually have something going on. So we started looking at around worlds and stuff. It was our first edition of world hopping. We actually got to play Uno. And then we got to take a look at other worlds like a Sonic world. This is inspired by a video game for Sonic here. This is another one of them. This is another one. This is Sonic VRChat Hub 2.0. We actually been here for a few times within the last few weeks, but back then that was our home world. Now we have Sovereign's Chill Home. And also back then my streaming software was a little wonky. As you can see the graininess. And then we started meeting new friends here. We got to meet him, Red Cat. And then we got to see the meme, of course. If you watch Snapcube. And then JayDPGaming shows us the Knuckles Chow. Then there's Vortex Lightning. And all that cool jazz. That was the first official open. The first official open lobby right there. Then we started doing open lobbies with the voice mod. With the Yuuki voice mod, obviously not anymore. We have our own characters. But this was something to behold at the time. Now, I don't put the character on screen after that because that was more for testing purposes for another project. But this is a baseball world, and you saw this a few times already. You actually seen this a few times. But remember, back then I was still beginning our adventures here, and we did basketball. We actually play a little basketball. There's pool table. There's tsunami bar. This is tsunami bar, by the way. You've seen this. You've seen this world. If you watch Tavaria Sailor Peace and other YouTubers who do VRChat, you've seen this before. And I actually reacted to a video by Peace from this world. And then we have, what do we have here? We have this world. Let me just make sure it's with. So we did our own version of world hopping. This was the first edition of what the series was supposed to be called, Shadows World Hopping. I'm still thinking of doing it again. And then we went to other worlds here. This was an open lobby as well, by the way. Next open lobby that we did was going to be the first like real open lobby. Sonic Night. There was a theme. This was the first themed open lobby. This was when we started meeting new people, new players. I like that name right there. Most likely inspired by the wrestler CM Punk. Most likely. Not sure. But I know I've seen that. And then this was the first themed VRChat where it's a Sonic Night. Now keep in mind there was no Shadow Saturdays back then. There was no Francis Fridays like we're gonna start tonight or every Friday. There was none of that. Not back then. This was beginner's luck. Beginner's lobby, if you will. So this world, if you guys know Sonic Adventure 2, this was where you start the last story. And actually it was the end of the Hero and Dark story too. This was the world here. Or this was that segment. That is going to be the Chow race section when it loads up. And then we have Sonic Adventure 1 with this particular world. This was the first, I believe this was Emerald Coast. If you played Sonic Adventure 1, we took a lap around the world here. And remember, back then, it was not organized as it is today. There was no introduction. There was no come on in, have some fun. You know, it would be a ton. And there was no work song back then, by the way. Just to keep that. Well, Mr. Work was probably working on the song already, but there was no like work introduction until we got into later on, which we're gonna show you guys in the series. And then we started meeting more people here. And I believe this is when we started meeting SlyWhyGuy. SlyWhyGuy is going to be part of the Emerald Hunters cast as a camera guy. We'll talk about Emerald Hunters later in the series. But this was the first like real time that we started opening the lobby to everybody. And if you think about what kind of instance this is most likely Friends Plus. Because you can see there's more people than before. So here at the end of the 138.49 mark, that was it for the lobby. So it was the same. We ended at the same time that we always do, 7 o'clock Pacific. But nowadays, we extend it. Then I decided, you know what? Now that we have these lobbies, why don't we try something else? Why don't we try a nighttime lobby? Now, don't expect anybody at night. It hasn't happened. And even today, I tried nighttime lobbies. No, nobody's going to join those. Or unless you are a big YouTuber like Taveria, no, nobody's going to join. Not yet. So I tried something where with you guys, now I call it solo lobbies. Shadow Night and VRChat. Similar concept. It's a VRChat at night. But this is when I started looking into avatars like Shadow, Rouge, Infinite. And you're going to figure out that those three particular characters are going to make an influence, or are going to be an influence later. I have an episode dedicated to them for a few reasons. So this is Putt-Putt Golf, where we did golfing. Obviously, I was so new to this thing that I took like 14 shots on par. But that aside, we started looking into avatars, shadow, all that good stuff. And today we have 14 characters plus OCs. So there you go. And then we have Shadow Knight in VRChat. Now, here's the next lobby. Another teamed lobby. This time, it's going to be Shadow meets Tails. This was the first one where we really got more people involved. And you're going to figure that out very quickly. Now, obviously, the footage is grainy because obviously I was still learning how to upgrade a computer. So this is JayDPGaming again. He is playing as Mighty the Armadillo, and Mighty the Armadillo also plays a role later. As you guys know, we have a character, we have a cast member of Emerald Hunters playing as Mighty, and that is Davon. But we'll talk about that later. We started meeting more people. Here's J-Lo. Of course, that's Sonic. You know Sonic, guys. Here's animation stuff. If you guys do not know Sonic 06, you guys need to understand that that's a reference from the game. And then here's a portal. We go to different worlds. This was really when we started looking in VRChat. Like, we started looking at other stuff other than just one world at a time. So we took a look at it a little bit. Now the final one, the final thing we're gonna take a look at for this particular part, actually two more, is Shadow Visits the Lab. So Shadow Visits the Labs was an experiment that I wanted to try. What is this supposed to be? Shadow Visits the Labs was supposed to be a showcase of worlds in the community lab section when you go to your world settings or worlds tab. So there's a thing called community labs, and what those are is worlds being developed right now. Like, it's a beta test to get them into real VRChat. It's like they're building, it's in development and all that good stuff. My intention for this particular series was actually to try to expose them, not expose them in the wrong way, but show them off so that people can visit these fantastic worlds in development. That was my intention. Did it work? I tried it, and you know what? I'm trying to get back into it. So these are some of the worlds that are in production at the time, and some of them look pretty good, to be honest. This one was very interesting because it's a puzzle game too. This one's nuts. This one's cool. This one I was thinking of using it for an episode, but I said no. And then this is an elevator. I love me some elevators. And that's how that one goes. The last one for this particular part is this one. Nice Tails, Nice Shadow meets Tails. So the reason why this one is in particular interesting is because this is where we met SlyWhyGuy. SlyWhyGuy is a friend of JayDPGaming and is one of the Emerald Hunter cast members as a camera guy. Right now we're trying to figure out backups, but at the time we were not talking about Emerald Hunters yet. We were just exploring VRChat. It didn't come until later. But we started meeting new people, and at the time JayDP also did a drum solo. Well, he was playing as Tails. But this lobby was particular for another reason. We have a special guest. That special guest is Sweetie Bunny, the official cream of VRChat. So I talked a little bit about that in a special. Why do people have certain tags like the official cream the rabbit of VRChat, or in my case, or about to be my case, the official Francis the Hedgehog of VRChat? And I said it's because the creator of said world, the said avatar, or said instance, has the right to do that because that's one of a kind to them. So if you want to learn about that, make sure you guys check out that special, because I go into depth to explain that particular portion of VRChat. But she is the official cream of VRChat for this particular world. Now, what happens when I say the official Francis of VRChat? The official Francis of VRChat does not matter. It's the official Francis the Hedgehog of VRChat that does matter, because anybody can have the same name, but they cannot have the same character. That is where the differential is. So we made friends with Sweetie Bunny and SlyWhyGuy, and you can tell we're friends because it's yellow. And at the end here, we actually did the theme to Luigi's Mansion. We actually did that. Now the reason why I'm always also showing you this particular lobby for this episode is because there was one other thing that started because of this lobby, and I do these today, and that's why I stay up until like 11:30 to do these. And that, my friends, is of course the highlight videos, and this is the start of it. So what do these highlight videos stand for? Well, obviously the name implies they are highlights. But this is when I started really looking into video editing and why it takes me so long to produce them highlights, because I want to make sure they are looking cool. That they don't look just cool, but they are good looking, if you can say. So this was when we started the highlight videos, and I still to do those today. Obviously new style, of course. So this is the same lobby, but I cut it down to 8 minutes. Or 10 minutes without the 8 minutes if you don't include the end credit sequence. So all these were exactly the same lobby I just showed you. But this is when we started the highlight packages. So as you can see here, this was the old style. The music should be the same. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna allow you to listen to music, and you guys should know what it is because it's from Mario. And here it is. This is from Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, guys. So my old style was a banner with the name of the username and then the character. And then we had a lot of guests. That's why we have a extended beginning to this thing. And then that this is the original credit sequence. So I actually had the thumbnail on the top right and then the credits on the bottom here. For some reason it was delayed. I'm not sure what happened in my video editor, but it's going to come up in just a moment for sure. There it is. Characters and cast. Now obviously I put more space today. So this character and cast thing is gonna go way on the top. But remember, this was when our lobbies were small. This was when we had small lobbies back in the day. And I say back in the day as in a year ago. This was small lobby land. Nowadays we have like 4, 5, 7 people at a time. No more small lobbies here. We're going big boy. We're going big boy lobbies today. This was like small boy. Now, Facebook likes and follows, I don't do those anymore. I do shout outs to content creators. Content creator shout outs. Because if I do Facebook likes and follows, then that's everybody. That's too many people. That's why I don't do those anymore. But I still say hi. I just don't wanna like overwhelm the credit sequence too. Now, do I still shout out certain content creators? Yes. I don't do it as much anymore because like individually, because I want everybody to be recognized in the same lobby. Regardless if they're YouTubers or not. I also introduced the next episode in here in a moment. So streamer shoutouts is its own thing now. So I don't just do one and then tell us why. I do streamer shoutout and then Jimmy Dukes Gaming, Gaming Green, Tavares Sater Peace, etc, etc, etc. I don't do it individually anymore because that would be too much, and I only have 4 minutes for the song. And that is why we started doing the whole work song, Mr. Work, because he's the one that made the song. Now this one is Mario song, but I said join us Wednesdays at 5:15 for VRChat. Gamer JVA is going to be Omega, as in Omega Robot from from Sonic. We actually had a bonus scene for this. So next time we're gonna take a look at a few more lobbies, and then it leads up to a big one. It leads up to our very first ever like major lobby. Now it's the same amount of people, but that there is a special guest in that one, and it's not a special guest like just a regular guest. Oh no. Next time the special guest is somebody who I mentioned in episode 1. She's my inspiration to start VRChat. She's the one that introduced Shadina, and that is, you guessed it, the Tavares Sater Peace. I told you it's gonna come full circle. But before that, we have Infinite, we have other lobbies to take a look at, and then that one. It's potentially the one that changed momentum in our VRChat experiences. Tune in for that episode when it comes out very soon. For now, if you are a member, welcome to the Yuki Elite. If you want to become a member and want to see these videos first, hit that join button today. You're going to get access to these videos and much more when I do these members early first videos for you guys, and enjoy those benefits. And if you're a gamer, starting soon, lobbies for VR for Apex Legends, Fortnite, and all that cool stuff. be opening soon. Enjoy, and I cannot wait to show you the next episode.